Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Love and Hip Hop Season 5, Episode 10. Let's get into it. Let's just talk like, oh my God, what is really going on with Brooke, like, why are you so shady? Why are you talking mad junk? Like, why are you making fun of, Moniece and her medical situation, whether she's having anxiety attacks and she needs pills or medication? Then you went in the studio and you started singing. You like, of course you can sing better than Moniece. We know this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, Brooke, you were so cool last season. It just seems like you just want to be messy and make the girls belittle all the girls or the ladies around you. Like, make them, you act like you better than them, like your life is better than them. Like, you've been getting cheated on and played on by Marcus. He was married. He was sleeping with, his paralegal. Then he had this other chick this season, and you think it's all good that you're gonna marry him and everything is all perfect and great. Like, you better than the ladies. Like, you haven't came up with no music. It's just like you just doing this drama stuff for TV, but it's making your character look bad. And I really do like you, Brooke. I think you're cool. I like the way you dress. Last season, I used you for my thumbnail for so many different episodes. Like, come on, you look good this episode too as well. But Brooke, you gotta stop. You gotta stop being messy. Stop treating your friends like the way you treat them, because Bridget has really been a good friend to you, really, really, really. And so let's get on to Paris. We got Paris. She crying and she's talking about, oh, about I stole the $50. It was only $50 I took. She's charging me, if it's $50, $10, it's some money that you took from her. Maybe it's not a big deal to you, but to some people, just the audacity of someone taking something from them that they trust, that if they would have asked them for it, they would have gave it to them. You know what I mean? So that's the situation. Did you try to pay the $50 back? How come you didn't just call K Michelle and let her know? Maybe K Michelle is being petty about the situation, but K Michelle makes it seem like it's way more than $50. So what is it? Is it $50? Is it 100 grand? Did you clear the car? What's going on with the situation? And it seems like you don't want nobody to talk about that, but you broke down and you started crying in London, but yet you don't want TT to talk about her sex tape or anything like that. You wanted a good experience. You want to leave everything behind. That's fine. But you see how emotional Paris got when the $50 situation with K Michelle came up. She was crying and she was hurt. She said she was publicly humiliated, just like TT was publicly humiliated. Even if we don't know yet if the verdict is still out, whether TT has something to do with it or not. I'm really hoping that she didn't have anything to do with it. It's a sad situation. Whether or not she did have something to do with it, it's sad that she felt like she had to go that route to stay relevant, if that's actually the case. It's allegedly. And then having, 50 Cent post that on his page with her, giving fellatio and having that white stuff on her face. And 50 having so many different millions and millions of followers on his IG. It's like really, it hurts regardless. And maybe she didn't think it was going to get that big. I don't know. But, Akbar, he is a player, he's a manipulator, and he's the type of person that would try to use a sex tape or intimate moment that you share with him to blackmail you and to make you feel bad so you can run back to them. That's how, abusers, or especially people that want to try to emotionally hurt you. But we don't know. The verdict is still out, whether she did it or whether he did it or whatever. So I guess it's up to the public to decide who released a sex tape. We'll see if anything comes out of this, lawsuit, basically with Lisa Bloom, and then other people saying that Tiara did have something to do with it. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And we see Donatella, she's not going to, London. She's out. She's booked and busy. She got things to do. I'm just like, damn. So then we have all the ladies there meeting up, getting ready to go to London, and everybody's basically going, but Princess is not going, and Apple Bottom didn't go, and maybe some other people, but just Moniece is there, Bridget is there, and Nikki, she's there too as well. Paris is there. La Brittany's there. Moniece is there. TT and Brooke, Bridget. So all of them are there basically. They're all there. They're getting ready to go to London. And you have, Brooke, she comes to the table while Donatella and Donna, she's there. She's talking to Bridget, and she brings up, oh, I don't know if Monique is going to make it because, we had a studio session with Rockstar and everything. And then, Rockstar asks Moniece to hit this certain note, and she ended up faking it, and faking it and just hitting the ground and leaving in the ambulance or whatever. They didn't even go check on her. Brooke didn't even go check on her or go with her, like show any sisterly love. Like if Moniece is somebody that you want to be friends with and you want to get to know, you would show your empathy and your concern too as well, especially being a mother that Moniece being a mother too as well, to say, you know what, let me make sure she's all right, because I would want somebody to do the same for me. But yet, no, Brooke got in the studio and she started singing and she took over the track, and then she was like, I don't know if Moniece is gonna make it to the trip because she had to go to the hospital. Here comes Moniece. I was like, oh, there you go, Moniece, she comes through and she's chilling, whatever. She was like, yeah, my milligram was at 50, but they had to up it to 100, or they had to down it or whatever. They had to get her medication levels right. And some people are making fun of Moniece being on medication, but there's millions of people that are out here that are on medication to get help with, anxiety, depression, and things like that, because, that's the way that's how they know how to get help. There's other different remedies and ways to get help without taking medication, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do for yourself. And so she was just there. She was like, I'm here and I'm coming. And then we have TT's coming, Paris is coming. Everybody's not too happy with everybody else that is coming, because there's some girls that don't get along. Like, La Brittany doesn't really like Moniece, because Moniece in that rumor with, Jay Wills about her sliding into, A1's DM and actually probably sleeping with A1, and then showing up and dancing all naked, not naked, but with lace on and no panties on. And then, TT, she's still feeling a certain type of way about Paris. And, Nikki, you're not really supporting her and having her back, being all up in her business and want to warn her and tell her. But when it comes to court, when it comes to, really being by her side, they got to back up. Nikki had to go to the hospital with her father, but yet we see her on TV watching the press conference with popcorn with, Paris, and they sitting there joking. Paris don't want to do nothing with court or anything like that, and she's just watching it. And it was like, you think Paris would have more, she'll be more supportive of TT in this situation, instead of acting like, I don't want to hear anything you got to say about the situation, because I can only imagine when the shit went down with Paris and K Michelle, that every time somebody talked about it and brought it up, she felt a certain type of way. She probably wanted to talk about it, but being exposed your whole body and everything to the public, especially if you don't want it, it's like a real horrific thing to experience, in my opinion. Like, that's no joke. And Nikki says that, a sex tape about her is out, or tried to get out, and she doesn't want to be around that situation, but she should be more humble towards Tiara in that situation too as well. But, it is what it is with the ladies. You know how the ladies get down. And so they're going to be on their way to Paris. And so we have, Mama Lyrica. She shows up to meet Lyrica in the park. I don't know what she had on. I don't know what's up with Mama Lyrica's stomach. I don't know if it's some type of deformity or something like that, but she had tattoos all over her stomach, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but she doesn't look like, she's a grandmother. She doesn't look like she's an older mother. And you know what? She wants to look young and be young, and that's fine. And you could tell that she does work out, but it was just something strange about, her in them tight jeans and that cut off shirt with her stomach showing, and that big old weave with all them colors and everything, and then the piercings in her mouth, on top of her lip. It was just like, it was kind of weird in a way, but you know what? To each of its own. She wants to live her life and enjoy, but it just looks weird on TV. To me, it looked weird. It didn't look like a human torso. And so basically, and then on top of that, the mama's making everything about her, like, oh, one family got to accept me. Nobody thought about how I feel, or thought about, I have compassion towards me about the situation with the baby or anything like that. It's like she made the situation about A1 and Lyrica and their baby about her. No one thought about her. Like, you are not... Are you a child? Like, please help me with this. Like, damn, Lyrica. Now we see what Lyrica is, the way she is, and maybe the mistakes that she has made and things that she's doing, because she doesn't really have a great role model as a mother that's in her life and it's on TV with her. That's the way that it seems. But maybe the vocal and the teaching and stuff like that, they're both for their outfits. It's just like, okay, we're gonna put on whatever we want. And you better do that. Live your life, baby. But it just comes off a little bit weird on TV. And so we have that situation. And then it's just like Lyrica mother, she just makes she's just like so childish. Like, she act like she's married to A1. She acts like she's Lyrica. And that's like a really big problem. Stop trying to live through your daughter. Like, let it be. You're already enough. Or you're already on the TV show. You don't got to try to live through your daughter. And you're not even coaching her or teaching her how her relationship should go with her husband, because maybe you haven't had successful relationships as well. And I'm assuming this. So then, moving on from that situation, but before then, Lyrica's talking about, everybody talking about these rumors that the baby might not be A1, it might be Safari's, and she don't want to continue to explain herself to her mother, because her mother wants to know, is it true? Why are they saying this? They could be saying it for 1,000 different reasons, that it must be true, it might be true, or there's some evidence out here that it possibly is. And so Lyrica mother has to reassure Lyrica that she believes it, because Lyrica is kind of getting defensive, but she's also hormonal too as well, and she don't want to explain herself again. But whatever. Whatever with that situation. That situation is just like way too much between. Mama Lyrica is just like, everything is about her, which makes it just really sad, because you can see some of the mistakes Lyrica may have made because of the guidance that she had, growing up. And we get on to A1. A1 is with his brother Lloyd, and I'm glad Lloyd finally apologized and tried to make everything right with A1, because A1 is like a fish out of water right now. All his boys, his friends, has turned against him. They're not on his side. He almost got into a fight with Ray J. Ray J acting like he's like the man, the boss, and he's not being considerate of A1's feelings, like being around everybody talking about this, and Ray J acting like, oh, this happened, blah blah blah, and face it, this and that. So it's just like, he's not showing compassion to as well, or being sensitive to the situation, because I don't know why he's not, because he should understand how he feels, because Ray J done stole Princess from Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather was in his feelings, so he should know how a man would feel if another man takes their woman or sleeping with their woman, because how would he feel if one of his partners on the show was sleeping with Princess, or if there was a rumor that the baby ain't Ray J's? How would he feel about the situation? So he's not really caring that much about A1's feelings. It's just a story. And so, then A1 almost fighting, Safari, and telling his brother he jumped across the table. Lyrica is telling her mother the same story too as well. So it's good that Lloyd's there to protect him. I mean, not protect him, but have his back, that he can have a male friend to talk to. Because it seems like all the male friends that, A1 had on the show are really not his friends. They're laughing about, Lyrica sleeping around. And, men will do that. They will laugh about you if your girl's out here doing, your wife is out here doing these things. So I guess it really needs to be proven whether Lyrica actually had sex with, Rockstar. If Lyrica had sex with Rockstar, that's really a bad thing, because Rockstar is really A1's enemy. And then if Lyrica had sex with, Safari, but we know Safari has a lying track record, and he's a liar, and he'll do anything for attention. Even though I like Safari, Safari's cool in my book, but you never know with Safari, with his sex tape being, his dick pic being leaked and all this other stuff, and knowing that he leaked his dick pic, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that situation. But A1 is really like feeling like all his LA friends, his boys, are turning against them, and there's a problem with that situation. So, it's good. But Lloyd did ask, A1, hey, listen, is do you think you need to get a DNA test? And that's some cool shit, where he can help guide his brother through the situation, especially if his brother especially if A1 wants to stay with Lyrica, whether, he finds out if she was cheating on him or not, if the baby's his or not. It's just some guidance, just some male support would be good for A1 at the situation. So I'm just like, damn. So we have all that going on. And so now we got Brittany. She's not too happy with Monique or whatever, because of the rumor about Jay Wills. Told her that Monique said, and Brittany was supposed to be performing at Pride, and she's not even at Pride. I guess she thinks she's, she don't need Pride, but don't look like she's doing too much in London. But she's supposed to be performing her new song, and she did a song with Cash Doll, Blase and a Third, and she wants to go to London for more exposure, to show who she is and where she, and her music, and basically trying to get a fan base out there. So or built a better fan base out there in London. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But she's not too happy with Tiara, and she lets Tiara know from the jump street, like, hey, listen, not Tiara, she lets Monique know from the jump street that, hey, listen, like, I know what you said about me, and I ain't had sex with A1. I ain't do shit with A1. I was just like, yo. But we must say TT looked very pretty in her yellow. I think she looked beautiful. I also think Bridget looked beautiful too as well. Moniece looked beautiful. I like the way that, Nikki was dressed too as well. She looked like a Barbie doll, like out of a store, with the top on and the heels and kind of like tight sweats. And La Brittany, she looked nice too with her dress, like kind of like a robish type silky situation going on, looking like Versace she had on. She looked nice too as well. And Brooke, she looked okay. And Paris makeup was drop dead gorgeous. Her makeup was on point. Her makeup and her hair looked on point the whole time she was in London. And Bridget and TT actually stole the show the whole time that they was in London. They stayed fleek. They stayed on point. They look absolutely fabulous. But most of the ladies look fabulous as well. Even Brooke looked nice too as well. She looked good. But I believe Bridget and TT just looked the most fabulous. I love the yellow. Even, Nikki, when she came to London with her little red t-shirt and her kind of like gym type style pants that was sexy. And then she came in with the all black type of shirt on. She looked good too as well. I think the ladies did do a really good job in London, the way that they was dressed. They look good. So we know that they're gonna be rocking it in a reunion, right? Because Bridget, she had it laid out the whole time she was there. TT had it laid out the whole time that she was there. Paris looked good the whole time she was there. And she switched up her wigs, but her makeup looked nice. Her outfits looked nice too as well. And she's going around asking people if they were circumcised. It's like, what's going on with you, girl? Like, you are so concerned about somebody being circumcised. I know a lot of people, some people like men to be circumcised and some people don't. It's up to you or whatever. As long as they can wash it and clean it, it's all good. All day and every day, I guess. And so now we get to the house that they're staying in, and Bridget and Brooke at the first floor. They got the bathroom, the living room, the kitchen right there. TT and Moniece and Nikki had to stay upstairs in the attic. Nikki was like, I keep hitting my head on everything. Nikki's pissed that she's up there in the attic. And they're like pissed they're in the attic, but they was like, whatever. So it's just like, damn, they got the suckiest area to live or whatever. But at least they have a washer and dryer there, right? And so they get to London. Nikki was like, I'm not walking around. People were saying that, oh, Nikki doesn't want to walk around because she don't want something to happen to her silicone. People are so mean. And, Nikki she was like, yo, we got the ride. They jumped in there, Mercedes-Benz, vans, whatever, living the life, riding around and shit like that. So they get to the house. They're happy with that situation. So it's nice, and basically they wanted to get everything off their chest and cleared, and they wanted to go over the rules, And so TT was like, don't touch my shit, don't touch my shit, don't touch my shit. And then so that's when La Brittany let it be known that, hey, listen, Moniece, I know you talking about I had sex with this one, I had sex with A1 and all this other stuff. I didn't. But you know what? I hear rumors about you from my assistant that you be down there eating K. Michelle's cootie cat. You be down there eating that punkash. You be down there eating the Nubian princess. And so Moniece was like, no, I'm not. So do you guys believe that, do you guys think that, Moniece would actually go down there on K. Michelle? It's not like, I don't know, because like Moniece does have a girlfriend. She does have AD. I think her and AD broke up now or whatever. But you think there's a possibility that she was down there tasting some of that Southern style food? But if you guys ever get a chance, if you listen to the interview with Tank talk about Moniece, you believe Moniece would do anything if you listen to what Tank has to say about Moniece, because he was involved with Moniece for a little bit. And he tells his horrific story of this relationship with Moniece. And Ray J's in the picture too as well. So anyways, they kind of like squash the air, and so they're riding around. The ride is kind of like tensions or whatever, because Paris doesn't want to hear anything that Titi has to say about her situation. She's been very insensitive, and she later on becomes sensitive to Titi situation and understand that it's public humiliation, and so that's a good thing too as well. So now they're all chilling, having a good time, and so that's nice. And so they go out, they go drinking. You have Bridget, she's guzzling beer. You have, La Brittany on the table dropping like it's hot, twerking it, talking. She's doing the D challenge. You got, Paris talking about doing the D challenge. It looked like it was an embarrassing environment, but at least if everybody was drinking a quart or an ounce of liquor or jugging beer, maybe they didn't stick out. And you have Paris going around asking people about their if they're circumcised, and I like way too much information. So anyways, they did meet a black guy there that was kind of handsome, had a really nice body, and everybody was like susceptible to the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood cast out there in London, so it was all good or whatever. So you had that situation. TT's feeling pressure. She didn't deny that she hasn't had a drink after she got out of rehab, but this is a trigger for her. Of course, it's a trigger. It's a trigger for anybody to be on a reality TV show when it's catered around liquor and parties and bars and drinking. And so she's feeling nervous, and then Paris is trying to get her to drink. It's like, damn, what kind of friend are you, Paris? You trying to get her to drink, and that she just got out of rehab not too long ago, and you're talking about some vacation you can drink. That's like telling a custody or a crackhead or a cocaine habit or somebody that's on heroin or addicted to drugs to say, oh, you're out of the United States, so you know what? You can sniff some coke, you can do some meth, it's all good, but when you get back home, you got to let it go. No, it don't work like that. Your body craves it. And so TT, she gets nervous and she doesn't want to drink, and she's being triggered, and everybody's drinking and talking about drinking, and she doesn't want to be a part of that. She leaves. Brooke asks where she's at, and everybody's like, drink, liquor, and it almost seems like they're almost engaging that TT's not drinking and she's drinking just the Red Bull. Bridget is like, how come you're not drinking? Like, these motherfuckers don't know that she went to rehab, that, it was part of the season last year. And so TT, she goes outside. Moniece goes with her, and they go home together. And TT really appreciate Moniece coming with her and going home. And Moniece was like, I'm not going to drink. I don't think Moniece should be drinking when she's on, medication. But that's just my opinion. I ain't no doctor. So they go together. And so they share that moment of friendship, of true friendship, where TT has somebody to help her in a time of need where it's hard to just say no. Then plus TT, if she does drink, she don't want to drink on camera. That's going to mess up her brand too as well. And so we get to, Apple Watts. I wish she would want a trip. Apple Watts was there. Apple Watts was in the bar stripping, dancing, doing her thing. The bar was totally empty. I don't know which. It looked like she only made like 7 ones. And so you have Sean Love. She's at this little place, with her lawyer. She pays him by the hour. Apple Watts supposed to come there, sign the contract, and let Sean Love be her, manager. Apple Watts did not show up because she had to make her $7. And so then we have that situation. So then all of a sudden, Sean Love's nowhere to find her. Sean Love's like, I had to come to the hood. I had to come to the ghetto to get you. You ain't making no real money. How much you got in your hand? Look what I got in my pocketbook. What are you doing for a living, Miss Sean Love? What are you doing for a living? You need to just be telling people how to get them racks like you be having in your pocketbook and giving them away to like Rockstar for a song that we're never going to hear. So we have that situation, and basically, Apple Watts, she's scared. She's afraid. She doesn't trust people. She didn't have a mother or father to grow up with. She grew up in the system. So people have probably promised to her over and over and took advantage of her, and she just think it's one of them situations too as well. And, she's running from it because she don't really want to take the chance to find out if it's real or not. And so then that's when Sean Love comes in, was like, yo, get off that stage. You had me come here. I had to pay for lawyers. What the hell you doing? I put money on you. Trust me. Believe in me. I'm going to help you. You're like, I'm going to keep my word. I got the racks right here, baby. You ain't going to be broke if you with me. And Apple Watts, she's just been through so much that it's hard to trust and believe that anybody is real, or I really want to help her or believe in her, because at some moment she probably doesn't believe in herself, and believing that she has to strip as much as she can so she can survive until she can't strip no more. So it seems like she's going to give Sean Love a chance. Hopefully Sean Love's really help Apple Watts, because this woman has been hurt a lot. She might yell, she might scream, she might be upset, but you can tell that she's still just a little girl inside that's looking for acceptance, love, and somebody to push her and believe in her. So moving on from that situation, we get back to London. And once we get back to London, what is her name? Brooke is getting ready to, first they go on a little tour of London, and they learn some, they go on a tour bus or whatever. Brooke is teaching everybody history. She knows the history. She knows about the hanging, the killings, the princesses, the kings, the emperors, or whatever they have over there. And, and they learned, they had that little guide trip or whatever, learn about Henry and all this other stuff. Tiara has no clue what's going on. Brooke is embarrassed for everybody, but she has done some research, and she knows history. And so that's all good. And the tour guide shows them ahead. They all run. They have, and that's it with that situation. And so we see that Nikki and Tiara, Moniece, and TT actually, get up together, and they have some type of meal together, and they basically come out the closet about their hurt and their pain. Nikki's not really bothered. Nikki's acting like, she's just here for camera time, because if she didn't come, she wouldn't be on camera, really. It seems like she's really standoffish, and she's not really friends with TT. It seems like there's something that really triggered in their relationship. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if Nikki's just tired of, TT, or TT feels like Nikki doesn't support her. And so TT and, Paris, they get into and talk about their public shame and embarrassment and hurt, and they work their way through. Then they also talk about the situation with Brittany and try to fix that situation with Brittany and Moniece. And so Paris sets up a meeting. So Nikki goes home, Paris goes home, and Nikki doesn't even go on the tour guide trip. She stays in because she's not feeling good. Her arm hurts, her shoulder hurts, something hurts. Moniece just wants to stay in the crib. She doesn't leave the house. She said, fuck that tour bus. And so then we have, Moniece and TT and Brittany meet up, and we get to hear Brittany tell us that she has 2 older children, and she's just sick of people spreading rumors about her, saying that she has to have sex with somebody to get on, and she didn't. And she says it's embarrassing for her because she has 2 older boys that look up to her. It's like, damn, you're a mother of 2 older boys out here just wilding, twerking. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Sky does what she gotta do too. I don't know, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's different roles and different aspects of life that people have to do today to make it, especially if they're on TV. So, it's nothing wrong with dancing and twerking and shaking your ass, all that other good stuff, as long as there's a balance and your kids know another side, I guess. So we have that situation go on. So she was like, yo, everybody thinks that you have to be having sex and this and that to be put on, and it's not that. So basically Moniece says, well, I heard it from somebody that heard it from somebody, and actually Lyrica told me this. Is like, damn, they love dropping names. Jay Will drops Monique's name, Monique drops, Lyrica's name. And so basically at this moment they all make up. It's all good. Peace and out, one love.